Welcome back. The details. Under the auspices of and the presence of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, the Story of a Nation Between Vision and Achievements conference kicked off on Saturday in the new administrative capital. The conference is attended by Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli and a number of ministers and high-ranking officials, top executives, as well as a large number of representatives of the civil society with its various sectors, experts, specialists in all domains. Details.
President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi asserted the nation can realize progress only through building and reform and not sabotage, destruction, doubt or injustice. The president was speaking in comments during the inauguration of the Story of a Nation Between Vision and Achievement conference. The president said the state lost $450 billion during the period from 2011 to 2013. Noting that they're now listing what has been accomplished to establish reality and develop radical solutions to challenges. The president said the state's revenues are less than its spending, stressing that there is need to increase resources. President el-Sisi pointed out the fulfillment of the new Suez Canal project and said the venture was carried out at a critical time where rumors were refuted in addition to combating terrorism in the country. He said the real threat against any nation is ignorance and backwardness. He also warned against plots on sabotaging Egypt's recent achievements by promoting and spreading fake news. Recalling the new Suez Canal project and the feelings of hopelessness and lack of confidence that prevailed amongst Egyptians back then, the president noted the project was an attempt to unite people and restore their confidence. He pointed out to the fulfillment of the new Suez Canal project. In disclosed revenues from the Suez Canal are poised to crest $100 million by the culmination of the year, effectively doubling pre-2015 revenues, and they're anticipated to ascend to $12.5 billion by the end of the fiscal year 2024-25. The head of state stressed that the country was not stable. It would not have been impossible to move forward. He also thanked the Minister of Transport, Kamel El-Wazir, for his diligent efforts in this respect, and thanked the Prime Minister for his strenuous efforts, noting the state's achievements had been made despite terrorist threats, stressing the state will never forget the families of the martyrs.
Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli addressed the conference Story of a Nation Between Vision and Achievements, reviewing the state's achievements during the last 9 years, tackling a number of economic and social files. Here are more details. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli presented the development Egypt accomplished in different sectors during the inauguration of the Story of a Nation conference. In his speech, Prime Minister Madbouli started by explaining the successful experience of other countries like Malaysia, Singapore, Germany and China, among other developed countries, saying that their success was not achieved overnight. It took them years. He highlighted that projects investing in infrastructure and having strong leadership were keys to their success. He went on saying that we've made unprecedented achievements that have not witnessed in the country for decades. He also said that successful developed states have invested from 20 to 40% of its local income in infrastructure, adding that Egypt got criticized for spending on projects. However, Egypt spends around 9.4 trillion Egyptian pounds on its developmental project, which is still the minimum limit. According to Madbouli, a total of 34 Egyptian experts worked on their vision and the strategy for urban development. Prime Minister Madbouli presented Egypt's achievements in transport system, tourism and smart cities. The Prime Minister further described the duplication of the Suez Canal as the most important project to transform Egypt into a true global logistics center, where he explained that Egypt has 14 logistics zones, where the economic zone in the Suez Canal was developed and advanced in the past 9 years. Regarding the development witnessed in the educational sector, Madbouli highlighted that a total of 120,000 classrooms were built at a cost of 40 billion pounds, adding that Egypt had 50 universities in 2014, while today the state has 96 universities. Regarding the health sector, Madbouli said that treatment at state expenses cost 87 billion pounds over the past 9 years. He further signaled the initiatives launched by President el-Sisi to enhance the sector and enable the state to achieve a real breakthrough in this field. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi also witnessed the economic session as part of the Story of a Nation conference activities. During the session, Minister of Planning Dr. Hala Saeed reviewed the state's efforts in planning and development, stating that Egypt's 2030 vision is the biggest project worldwide. She said, for the first time, the lowest wage limit was put to protect employees in private sector, adding that portable services of Justice and Interior ministries were offered also to the citizens. Saeed said Egypt has given great importance for environment file in sustainable development. Health services were also developed with the latest technologies. The minister said Egypt is ranked 70 among countries reaching sustainable targets, as Egypt jumped 19 ranks in UN Human Resources report. Earlier, a documentary was screened on the era that led to the 30th of June revolution, when the nation called on the army to protect Egypt and its people against the threats posed by the terrorist Brotherhood group. The document also presented achievements of the state in the past 9 years on all levels. In another session, the President listened to speeches by Ministers of International Cooperation Dr. Rania Al-Mashat and Industry Dr. Mohammed Samir, as both tackled the number of files and achievements realized in various domains in the past 9 years. We have more details. In another session also attended by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, Minister of International Cooperation Dr. Rania Al-Mashat said the year 2014 witnessed a transformation in Egypt's relation with international finance institutions to implement the national vision via multilateral international partnerships and bilateral partnerships, and in boosting economic diplomacy. Al-Mashat also noted that the Ministry of International Cooperation is the link between the beneficiaries inside the state, including different ministries, private sector companies, or civil society entities, and also among partners, whether bilateral or multilateral ones. She highlighted that in the frame of international cooperation and development finance, there are three main goals. First, magnifying the economic, social, and environmental benefits of development finance, guaranteeing that the development projects are coinciding with the national priorities, and finally, to improve the project's implementation on the ground. Al-Mashat also asserted that the state implemented a number of food security projects with international partners. She also mentioned in her speech Forsa, or Opportunity Program, which was carried out in cooperation with the World Bank and enhanced partnership between the government and the private sector, and provided thousands of job opportunities to the most needy brackets. The minister also stressed that the Egyptian citizen is the core of concern in all projects, and that each project is documented in details, and these huge projects, in addition to their national importance, propagate for Egypt on international platforms as an investment hub. For his part, Minister of Industry Mohammed Samir made a comparison between the industrial field in Egypt in 2014 and the achievements realized in the sector till the moment, and in numbers. Samir focused on the presidential directives issued to facilitate all procedures before new investors and entrepreneurs, including the establishment of 17 industrial complexes in 15 governorates and 46 industrial units, affording 48,000 job opportunities. The minister also tackled efforts exerted by the state to prepare a list of 100 incentives to promote the industrial sector and to attract direct investments in light of the complicated crises that are facing global economy. Meanwhile, President el-Sisi hailed the role played by the Ministry of International Cooperation in coordinating efforts with international financing institutions. The head of the state also stressed that modernizing the country's infrastructure was a must to launch the industrial development process, confirming that without electricity and gas, the national mega projects would have never been accomplished. The president also vowed to present more incentives to boost local industry and called on Egyptian and foreign investors to join the state's national projects.